Hey, friends, it's Lindsey Hein here. Welcome to the Relay Podcast. I'm joined with my friend and your friend, Peter Bromka. Hey, Peter.
How's it going? It's a small hang today, but that's all right. People all over the world.
All over the world. Erika in Tokyo about to run the marathon of her life.
Oh, man.
Mike in Tokyo, like doing Mike things. We all know what Mike things include. He's going to be videoing people and probably partnering with a million brands, doing all kinds of cool
He's
stuff.
gonna do a lot of. I was just listening to his live feed. He is like really because it's like his third time in Tokyo in the short number of years. So he's gonna dive deep on a bunch of food experiences, and then obviously he really works. The man hustles out at
Yeah.
those major marathons. So whether it's a world major or the world championships, he's like, I can get to see the leaders at like 6 spots, and you're like, man, that's a lot. So look for those videos. He's cranking out a lot of stuff about his Sydney experience. Yeah, when who is it? I think Matt was the person who initially suggested Erika, although Tommy will say that he suggested Erika.
Tommy wants
And
the cred.
yeah, Tommy wants the credit, and we're like, Tommy, you you get to be number 2. But Erika is both, well, more awesome than I expected, and then she was sleeping on the fact that she had said yes to the USATF to run at the World Championship. So then shortly after she joined our show, she's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to Tokyo. And you're like, hell yeah, you are. That's amazing. I don't know. Super cool. I'm excited for her.
Yeah, I feel very cool that she's on the team knowing what she's about to go do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Eric has been the most pleasant surprise on this podcast. Not that I didn't think she would be great, but okay, we're glazing on Erica. I get it.
No, it's good. I
But
mean, she's
she's
just like a crusher. She knows a lot. She's like, oh, Peter, I don't agree. And I'm like,
yes, that's my
oh,
favorite part. She calls
yeah.
people out. She's like, "No, no, no, that's not how I see it." And she's way funnier than I thought she was. I don't know why I didn't have that vision, but like, yeah, she's funny.
It's easy to not know. I
Erica, Erica.
Yeah, she knows a lot about the sport. I mean, I also love how she talks about her training. Like, it's become very common for athletes to talk about their team, to use the collective we, even though it's easy to face the cold hard truth that she'll be the one out there running. So she's like, yeah, we're training here right now. Maybe that's like the people training with her a little bit, but then like
Mhm.
our heat training strategy, and that's maybe her team. But then it's, I don't know, just really modeling a good mindset for all of us marathoners. She moves confidently through, so then I hope it really pays off. She's crushing right now.
Yeah, I think this World Championships, the women's World Championship team that USA has put together, all of their PRs are within a minute of one another.
Mm.
And they really have the ability to probably work together in this race. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know how everybody's going to feel day of, but I'm so excited. I also feel like this team is a team that we can really know,
Mm. Yeah.
like I feel like in our any team, any world's team that we put together in the marathon specifically, I'm thinking there's always like one person where you're like, but I don't know much about her. I don't know her very well. All three of these women are so generous with their time, giving interviews, and they're just like very personable. Like you talk to them and you're like, oh, okay. I feel like if I like saw you at a coffee shop, we'd just chat and we'd be buddies. So
Yeah.
I
You
guess all
know
that
them.
to say, they're
What you're saying is you know them because they come on your show. They reply to your DMs and they come on your show and they tell us about their life. And they're pro athletes that are approachable. It's wonderful.
they're easy to talk to. Yes, that's
Mm.
it. They're very, very, very approachable. And kind and supportive. So anyway, I am just really pumped.
I love Brooks and I make fun of Brooks because they're easy to make fun of, and they, what is it? They can accept a little mockery because they're like run happy. I just think of those toes. It's like run happy. And
Remember
then,
what
so
Erica said? They're like
yeah,
changing that.
yeah, they're going to get tough. Like,
We're not just happy, we are serious.
yeah, know what I think of is like Brooks is like that, the nice guy that like maybe it's like a training montage in a high school movie that we're like, we're going to make you tough. You're not going to get shoved in your locker anymore, Brooks. Like we're going to, and I know that they finally have like some really good technology underfoot. So that doesn't hurt. But it is pretty fun. Brooks is like, we're not going to get shoved around anymore, Nike. All right, we're going to
Yeah,
push
we're
on
not
you.
just happy all the time. We
Yeah,
take this seriously. But
you
then they
know,
sign athletes like Emily Infeld, and you're like,
yeah,
"Okay, I
yeah,
don't
exactly.
know."
Like Emily
She's the most
Unfeld, yay.
lovable athlete out there. Oh gosh, speaking of Emily, so pumped for her.
Well, yeah, I mean, oh man, I will see. We will see. She's so quick. You're like, are they really going to leave? It's like, don't. I mean, I'm sure Beatrice Chibet listens to the show, so I'll be like, don't
Yeah,
let Emily hang
totally.
around. Like, if you
She gonna
don't,
outkick you.
yeah, exactly. You're like, what are you thinking? I don't know. A little bit. The 10Ks, I'm still, I'm hating on 10Ks right now because it's become such a speed game that my heart for distance running was forged in the 90s when athletes would like crash out from 3K out, like
Mm.
2 to 3K out. They would just be like, let's roll. And you would just be like, they're running too fast. They are running too fast. If you can find a VHS player in your house, go find endurance.
I love
Actually, I
that you
think,
think I might have a VHS player in my
yeah.
house.
If you're listening to this, maybe go on YouTube. I'm sure that endurance about Haile Gebrselassie is available, and like they have some footage in there, which I mean, I if you go and watch the footage that you used to watch before big meets in high school, it'll still bring back those emotions of like, I could run through multiple brick walls right now because this man just runs with a lightness and like a ferocity. And like him and Paul Tergat, my favorite runner of all time, are just hammering after each other. And you're like, they're running too fast. They're getting away from all the other best runners in the world. But like, that's what they were willing to do. And so now it's not like I don't watch the final 600 of the men's and women's 10K, but I'm also like, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. You know, when they're like, I can't believe they went to commercial break. I'm like, I can believe they went to commercial break. Like, we know it's not going to matter. But that said, I will definitely be watching. I think well, I think it's where the schedule for World Champs works really well for your time zone. It works pretty darn well for my time zone.
Okay, really? I didn't know that. I hadn't investigated yet. I'm
Yeah.
I'm pot committed to watching and totally nerding out to prove that maybe you are right that I am a nerd.
Okay. Well, track,
Um,
you're more of a road nerd. I mean, you
yeah,
were aware of the US 20K championship on Labor Day. So that's
I
a
was.
real. How is that so I mean, it must be social media, but like, how is that schedule so ingrained? You're like, I think there was a 14K championship. And I'm
Well,
like, what are you
no,
talking about?
it stuck with me because I looked at the times and I was like,
Oh,
where was there a really fast half
really
marathon? Man,
fast.
they
Yeah.
were running 66s. And then I was like, okay, this wasn't 13.1 miles. This was 20K.
We are used to crazy times, but it would be gobsmacking if those were
Just like kind of a
1.1K.
random, I feel, I don't know, if a
Yeah.
random time of year, random race. And yeah. So yeah, that happened. And I think McKenna Myler, Sarah Hall, they ran. And it was funny because Sarah Hall put in her Instagram stories something about my doppelganger with a picture of her and McKenna. And I was like, I've always thought they looked alike.
Really?
Have you?
They I mean, I had not picked up on it, but they look a lot alike. It was
They
weird,
do.
particularly in that photo.
Peter, okay, so there were 2 big races this weekend other than the New Haven, I guess that was last Monday. 1, there was the Fifth Avenue Mile in New
Fifth
York
Avenue Mile,
City.
very exciting.
2, there was the North Hills 5K in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Ooh, big time. I was just bated breath. I was waiting to hear about it.
My 2 of my kids ran the 5K. I was like, so my older son, joined a step up in soccer league, and his coach has told the team like, "Hey, I want you to run 30 minutes every day that you don't have practice,
Oh,
or a game." So he has
yeah.
practice 3 days a week, and then he usually has a game 1 day a week. So that leaves him with what, 3 days to run
Whoa.
30 minutes. So I was like, "Hey, you got to do 30 minutes today anyway because you don't have a game. Because if we're ponying up the money and the time to do this next level up, you doing what your coach is telling you to do."
Okay.
So that was how I convinced him to sign up for the 5K. That and his little brother was signing up, and he was like, I can't be beaten by him by not entering. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Hmm.
Um,
Oh,
that
interesting. Okay.
that being said, this was one of those like parenting laissez-faire athletic experiences where I was like, y'all aren't working very hard.
Oh,
And I had
wait,
to
were you
like,
out on the side? Like, wait a second.
Yeah, I was because notoriously, they throw down and,
Yeah.
my 10-year-old ran that 22-minute 5K, like, 7:15 pace or something crazy like that, in my opinion.
In
Um,
super shoes, which are just shoes now.
true, true.
No, I'm
Um,
just I'm just
but
joking.
my Glenn and I were out on the course because us and our stupid Achilles couldn't run with either of
Oh.
them. Um,
Oh,
we went to 3 different spots on the course. It's literally in our neighborhood, it goes almost right by
that's
our house.
awesome. I
And,
love this.
but every time we saw him, I was like, "You don't look like you're about to die." And I feel like you've done enough 5Ks that you know how bad this should hurt at this point.
Uh-oh. Tough
So
mom is like, "Wait a
I know.
second."
Well, and then my 10-year-old, like, ran towards me at mile 1 when he saw me, and he was like, "I need water." And I was like, "I don't have water, like, keep going, like, why are you you're way off the tangents now, buddy."
Tangents. Oh, man. My son would be like, I I have a side stitch and I need some more water."
I was
You're
like,
like,
"Go, get." And then, at the end and then my older son took a tumble, and he fell on some gravel, so he has, like, a skidded up
"Whoa."
knee, um, but he was running until he saw us, and then he stopped running because he saw us, and I was like, "But you were running before you saw us, so you were okay."
Yeah.
And at the end, the younger one is making ground on the older one, and my husband yells to the younger one, "If you speed up a little bit, you will pass Marshall."
Yeah.
And he said it loud enough so that the older one could hear it, so that he would then take off. So it was like a little
Okay.
bit of mind
Yeah.
trickery.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I was like, "Oh, this isn't fun because 'cause they're not working that hard." You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I mean, I think so how did you approach them post-race to deliver
Well, I
this
was like, "I'm
news?
so proud of you. Great job. That was
Okay.
awesome. It was a hard day out there." The whole 9. I mean, it was that race is so hilly, like, the entire, like, mile, like, 2 to mile 2.8 is, like, totally uphill, like,
Okay.
a
Yeah.
real, real hill.
That takes
Um,
some and they're alone. They're not, like, running next to mom or dad.
no, yeah, they were alone this time. But anyway, it was just like it's a lot more fun when they work hard, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, I didn't see it on your Instagram story, so I imagine it's less of like you're like, "Oh, I'm not posting these. You're not trying
I mean,
hard
I
enough."
posted a couple things. I did
Oh,
post a
okay, I
couple
missed
things.
it.
Yeah, because I was, Glenn took a video of me on the corner, like, I was cheering for everybody. People were probably like, "Why is this woman so enthusiastically cheering for a 5K?"
Hey,
Um, but yeah, it was don't worry, listeners. I said all the right things at the end. I'm just
like, in the
expressing
moment.
my
Yeah.
internal
This is
disappointment
a safe
to
space to express your private thoughts.
the adults listening here.
I love the idea of, like, this scaled to the Fifth Avenue mile, like, the parents out there like, "Huh, he ran 3:49, but he got 7th. Hmm, I
He
think
wasn't working very hard.
he
I
could
don't
have
know what
worked harder." Yeah, he didn't even go, he didn't go for the prime at half mile. That seems odd. Hun, I came to New York City to see you work your hardest. Why didn't you? Oh, that's too
Speaking of
bad.
that, though, Gracie Morris, 4:16.
She's a fast person. I don't know
That
where she
is
came from. I mean, these young people are coming fast, out of the woodwork.
she also won the Sir Walter Mile, and I was
But
like,
that's yeah.
"Yeah," and I knew of her name because she's a triangle person, she's on the Puma Elite team.
She doesn't
Um,
try to go for I'm like, "Is this a Enneagram situation?" She's a no, okay. She lives in the triangle, okay.
yeah, I don't know why I had underdog in my mind, like, I didn't expect her to win, but then she won Sir Walter, and then she went and ran this, beat Carissa Schweitzer,
Yeah.
among lots of other very fast people. So, yeah, I'm excited about her career kind of taking off, it seems like.
I'm not a fan of the Puma uniforms. They
Mm.
are for white women, they look too close to skin tone, and your brand's like, "Is that lady naked running down the street?" I
Oh,
don't know. It's
interesting.
like it kinda speedy, but I mean, I'm sure it depends on your
It's
skin
like the
tone,
color
but
of your shirt right now.
yeah, I'm wearing a pinkish shirt that if
Pinkish
you
purple.
if I was running down the street in this bodysuit, like, you'd be like, "Peter,
Wait,
whoa,
what?
kinda
What's
scared the
going on here?
neighbors." Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
No, I mean,
funny.
we're not commenting I did not comment on her physique, I commented on her
On the
professional
color
attire.
of the attire.
Yeah, let the referee show.
No.
No, she is crushing, and,
She's
It's pretty
young too.
yeah, I mean, that's where it's fun to see these contracts. More brands are getting into the game than where, Puma wasn't really in the game a couple years ago, and it seems like she's like someone's gonna roast me that I'm sure she has more of a track background than I'm alluding to, but she's been on the roads pretty quickly and making quick work. It makes a lot of fun. Allison Wade alluded to like maybe she runs is more of a responder for super shoes, which is totally possible. That's a thing. Some people really run well in super shoes. Some people have super spikes that aren't the same, but like some people just love it and they have that tenacity. So it's fun to see. All right, Lindsey, it is Boston Marathon registration Monday, and I'm curious how you feel given that some people are estimating that in 2026, they're not estimating that in 2026, the standards are 5 minutes faster for many of the categories. That is just a fact. But people who crunch this data, there are people who crunch the data of incoming marathons throughout the 12 months with working models in Excel, and they're estimating that it will be a 5+ minute buffer that you need to run below the new standards.
And the new standards for under 35, is it 325 and 255?
Yes.
Google that real quick.
Yeah.
Google that real quick. We got to get that right.
Yeah, I believe that is Boston Marathon 2026. Absolutely.
I remember for the longest time just being like, "Oh, the other times mean nothing because I was in that category for so long and
Yeah.
here I am 2 steps ahead now."
Yeah,
Like
look at you.
2 age groups ahead because it's 35 to 40 and then 40 to 45. So I'm like, oh, if it's 325, I got to do a 335 at this point. So really 330 if you need that 5 minute buffer.
Yeah. And so for women are gonna under 35 are gonna have to break 320. Men are gonna have to break 250.
But it's
You know
really
that
the standard's actually 325 and 255, but they're just
yeah,
saying really you're going to have to break 250 and
you're gonna have
320,
to do this.
which I think breaking 320 is like that's a big step. Like that is so much faster and such a different level of running than when I had to qualify in a 340 back in the
Yeah.
dinosaur years.
Yeah. I mean it's a I think people just want to point every direction. Like huge running boom, running being popular with young
Yeah,
people
young people doing it
drinking
right.
less. They're like,
Yep,
yeah, I'll get out here. Doing it. I don't care whether they're doing it for the gram or TikTok, like they're doing it and it's like driving
they doing
down
it
the times like crazy. The the shoes, the like common knowledge that you should probably take a gel or
every 30 minutes
6.
instead of
Yeah.
every 50.
Yeah. The fact that gels are no longer like thick chocolate cake. You're like,
Those
it's
cute
actually
gels.
possible. But I'm just like, I put out a reel this morning because I'm like, man, I had an athlete who broke 3 hours for the first time,
Mm.
just had a dream race at one of these last chance BQ races, and he ran 256. And I was like, oh, I'm going to let this one just sit for a minute because he had a glorious day. His whole family was there. He crushed. He's on this whole journey, as most people doing these types of things are, like really progressing. And then this morning I sort of waited for him. He's like texting me like, wait a second. I saw on Reddit, I'm probably going to have to have broken 255. And I'm like, yep, I think
Because
that's the reality.
he's over
He's
35.
in, yeah, he's like in late 30s. And so,
Mm.
it doesn't, what I'm trying to, multiple
When
things being
he's only
true.
2 minutes, he's only because he broke his time by quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, big PR. Everything worth celebrating and meaningfully enough of a PR that I don't think, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. As his coach, I wasn't like, hey, we got to head out at 254 pace. Like,
No.
we got to do it. It was like, come on, man. Like, I
What was
haven't
his
broken
PR before?
over 3, so
Yeah,
it's just like,
no.
there's a
That could
lot
have
on the
run him to
line.
the ground, yeah.
Yeah. And if he fades dramatically in pursuit of 254, that's sort of a road to the trials thing we could get into. Um, the I don't know how much you learn. I don't know how much you take away from it. It wasn't by any means. And that's where his mindset is. He's in no way, shape, or form like a Boston or bust. This is the definition of success moment. So whereas some people, have been like, whatever their threshold is, they've been knocking at that door for a while and they're like, I'm just going to get on that train and ride it as long as it goes. But I will say, I, when I realized how fast everything was becoming, I was like, I bet Lindsey will be heartened because the most heat she's taken is by saying the standards need to be faster. And so the field just naturally has gotten there.
Can y'all just tell me I was right? Can you just tell me I was right?
Come
I just like
on.
to be told that. No, he could have crashed and burned. The thing about if he went out too fast, if he went out sub 255, um, and also, guys, the beautiful thing about Boston is it comes every year. This isn't the Olympic trials. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, I missed it this time. I got to do a whole nother 4-year cycle. It's like, okay, maybe take a season off and next fall try to rip a 253, whatever.
Have some fun.
You had like the year goes by so quick it makes my head spin.
But
So,
yeah.
I know though how disheartening that could be to be like, I went for it. I had that big goal. I qualified. And now I have I'm still a minute and a half too slow for it to get me in. That's
Yeah.
frustrating.
No,
That's frustrating. You
yeah. I
can
mean,
do that again though. You can run that time again and even
well,
faster.
absolutely. Yeah. And hopefully you love it for all the right reasons. Like the people who love it for the right reasons, who enjoy staying in that zone of training and running with friends and going hard, like they're the ones who arrive at Boston when they get there and are still have gas in the tank to like make the most of it versus the like, oh, I just like tried my hardest and I just kind of want this to be over with. You're like, well, tough. That's a tough place. But yeah,
Admire the people that rip a good one at Boston because I've never been in the mindset. I've run it 3 times. I've never been in the mindset to do that. Even one year, I think I ran like 3:33 or something. I got towards the end and I was like, just sneak in a qualifier real quick. Just
but
like,
yeah,
you know what
stick
I
with
mean?
it.
Like
Yeah.
hang in there so you can at least get your qualifier. And that was back in the day when we didn't have to have 5-minute buffers to qualify and the
Oh yeah.
qualifying time was much slower. I think it was 3:35. Um, but
Ooh, that'd
it's
be
hard,
interesting. Yeah.
especially when you've put so much work into just qualifying to then go, like, race hard once you get there. I've always just had a hard time not viewing it as just, like, a pure celebration. Um, yeah.
If the times get this fast, it'll be interesting because every year the majority of the people who qualify at the Boston Marathon. Like they're already running a marathon. They
Yeah.
are, and so, but if the times get that fast, then you hit a hot year, and
They're
it's
not
going to
gonna
be,
requalify, yeah.
yeah, it would be less people, and that already happens to a small degree. Less people qualified in 2024, but if they get significantly faster like this, it'll be like, well, no, I mean, a hot Boston is less conducive by a long shot than a faster race with a cooler condition. So that'll make it'll shift around where people have to go, and yeah, it's frustrating for people, but also no. Oh man, I actually literally texted my friends like, oh, this is so rough. Like I'm rooting for these athletes and and it's just really hard to get into this race. And you know what they say? They're like, you know what? The marathon owes you, Peter. Marathon doesn't owe you anything. And I was like,
Yep.
oh man, all
Ah,
right, fine.
they've
I'm
read something you wrote.
yeah. I'm like, here we go.
No, it's true, and yeah, I don't know, a bunch of adults pursuing a hobby, a goal.
Exactly.
It's a good thing, but oftentimes just listen, guys, just no offense. Oftentimes, we hold it a little too tightly.
Too tight.
A
Here we
little
go.
too tight.
Well, speaking of how to approach big audacious goals, we kicked off Road to the
Mhm.
Trials, which if you're listening to this, you probably have seen on our socials. We are super excited to embark on a 2.5 year journey. We're the first people in your life who are thinking about March 2028. You know, Lindsey and I are big planners. And I think we're committed to interviewing everyone who qualifies. So hundreds of people who are among America's best, but also I just think we're going to, I realized inadvertently, I was talking to Jeff Cunningham, who we're launching his episode this week. I interviewed him on the pod, but if you've ever listened to Jeff Cunningham talk, he's a big Texas talker, and he's got
Yeah.
lots of stories and lots of things to dive into. So I texted him as well, like, man, these standards are so tough. This was yesterday. A half hour call later of us catching up, I was like, yeah, this is. I was debriefing to him all the like the nuggets of insight that have already come our way. Like, a Teresa Haley talking about positive marathon mindset. That's already out
Mm.
there. A Jared Ward talking about like how he approach things and how he does it as a parent. Super interesting. And then, you know, Dakotah Popehn, who's coming out this week. I think we're
Popin.
Popehn. I just like saying Popehn. That's like my mass accent.
She's the absolute best human being. I love her so much.
But what's fun is
Dakota and Teresa.
you dig into
Oh,
it her and you're like, oh, you are intense.
she
Like,
wants it, like, and I believe it. It's
yeah,
interesting because in our episode with her, she said I mean, she was basically like, "I want it more than anybody,"
yeah.
and I
And you know
believe her.
what? I ran 130 miles a week in and week out. This is a pet peeve of mine. People will hit like an 80-mile week and they're like, I'm running 80 miles a week. And you're like, no, you ran 80 miles in 1 week.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
averaging that number? And Dakotah, mother effing Popin, is just crushing mileage such that, yeah, I think I was trying to, I, I didn't quite land this question. I was trying to get her to basically admit that she lines up at the race and is like, none of you bees have run as much mileage as me. I'm ready to rock.
I mean, she's running 50 more miles a week than a lot of people out there. I
I
mean, I
know.
do think a lot of people at that level are running closer to 100. The 3 ladies running for Team USA at the World Champs, they all said they're averaging around 80, which is significantly lower than Dakotah running 130. But you know what she said? She said I might get this wrong. Correct me if you heard it differently. Like, she was like, "I don't think I'm as, like, naturally gifted as a lot of these people, so, like,
Yeah.
I have to run this many miles to sustain what I'm trying to do," and I think she does recovery times 100, and she eats like she's running 130 miles. She is fueling her body, which is why she probably is staying away from injury,
Yeah.
like, one
I
of the
mean,
reasons.
I wish Matt Chittum was on this call. He loves nothing more than like a sports ism that cuts across different sports. Like the pie of the spectrum of people, like I don't know, the group of people in all sports who think of like, I'm only here because of how hard I work, like I am a harder worker than all of you, is very popular. Football, basketball,
Totally.
but it's very true in marathoning that if you can stay healthy, I mean, if you go listen to the episode, I don't know if you could tell, Lindsey, my excitement for my question, where I'm like, Dakotah's going to tell us about what the big breakthrough was when she went from 229 to 225. And she was like, so, so calm. She's like, consistency. I just stuck with it for another year.
Yeah, but wasn't she also like, "I was in shape to run much faster than 2:29 that
But
year?"
that it was like a hot year that
That's
day.
I'm
Yeah.
always disappointed when I ask an athlete a question like that, and they're like, "Well, what you didn't know, what nobody else knew is what I was actually in shape for
I was
2:25."
hungover when I ran 229. No, she
Yeah.
was not.
But, like, there's, like, always more you're like, it was like
Yeah.
it's like with Erika Kemp when she ran the 2:22 in Houston. Like, on paper, I think it was an 11-minute PR, but,
Yeah.
like, in her
Yeah.
head and what she knew out of her body, like, she actually knew that, like, that was in her a lot longer. She just the opportunity hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So
And that's
yeah,
why
that's
being a marathon fan is fun, is like,
yeah,
I don't know. You're watching these things. You only get a couple chances a year to really see them do their magic. And you're like, I think she's got a huge one in her. Like, let's go see.
totally.
So yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of backstory there. So yeah, we're just going to keep picking up all of these interesting insights about the marathon and about our favorite marathoners. So definitely go check out Road to the
For
Trials.
sure.
Please message us who you think we should have on. We're going to have all sorts of time to bring on different people. Um, I am working to get some sports scientists who have worked with the world's best athletes. I'll just leave it at that. Which these people, it takes more work, takes more cajoling to get. But I think this is the central thesis. I think we're circling in this project is like, what does it take to make the trials? What does it take to break through? Where should people find, you know, those marginal gains, and what should they think about as they try to stack, you know, be like Popin and stack marathon builds on top of each other.
Yeah, I always think about this, like, similar to what Dakotah alluded to with, like, maybe possibly not being, like, as naturally talented as some of these other athletes. Like, who has the natural, like, mental game locked in? Like, some people need so much more work on that than other people, and how much of a weapon is that, right?
Hmm.
Like Teresa Haley, for example. I think her mental game is unmatched.
She's very
Um,
good. She's
yeah.
very good. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I, you know, like any athlete, I can associate with that a bit. When I was trying to make the trials, I was like, okay. And this is sort of like one of the themes in the book that I'm writing is like the ways that running beats you down and really solidifies like how you're not good, even if like it's just some really layered, nuanced ways of becoming attuned to how not good you are, even though like you're running well and it's going fine, you know? And so grappling with that and then realizing like, okay, but if I'm going to be at my best, I can't do it off of lower mileage. I can't do it off of like kind of ripping some VO2 max workouts. Like I can name the people that I'm thinking of, you know, that could kind of do that. And so you're like, I'm going to have to get better at the things that I can control. And there's a lot to be learned there, but it's difficult. It's
It is
frustrating.
difficult. I hope that people take from the road to the trials, like, pieces of information like that, like, what they can do in their own training and own goals, even if it's not marathoning, you know, whatever your, like, endeavors are that you can take, advice and thoughts from these, like, high achieving athletes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be all these little nuggets that, that make it. I mean, we're trying to humanize this pursuit, and we're also trying to surface the little things that are interesting. But like for other people who obsess this race, and a big part of that will be the people who are able to somehow through they might not even know how, but they're able to stay positive and playful with this very hard goal. Like for a lot of the women trying to break 237 for the first time, it's a tall task. And I mean, 216, I'll just be honest. I have had to like, I am currently rejiggering my brain to not be a Debbie Downer negative naysayer about that time because I don't think the men I interview, well, a lot of the men I interview will have already hit the time. And so that'll be awesome. But no one needs me out there being like, oh, this time is so fast. It's so fast. That doesn't help anyone, but like, mother effer, it is
It
so
is so
fast.
fast. It is so fast. I mean, at the end of the day, your goal for reaching that time has to be completely intrinsic. You
Yeah.
cannot be doing this for other people's validation. It is that so fast that you have to have your why so figured out.
When they announced 216, I selfishly went back to make it about myself and I looked at like how many times did I break 5:11 for the mile in any of those races, and I think it was like 2 or 3 of the, let's say I ran
Was it like
close to
mile
a,
10?
yeah, exactly. It was like
Mile 10
so
of
there was
26.
like a,
I feel
a
like that's
little
when you're
bit.
feeling the best in the marathon.
Exactly. You're like, I'm cruising, here we go. There was a little bit of a dip at CIM, and like, you know, you're like, okay, so if I tried to qualify, let's call it 3 or 4 times, that's 100 miles. And so like 3% of those I ran below the time that they're now asking men to both go out at, continue at, and then importantly, like finish at. Like I
Finish
think
at that
there's a
time.
lot of men who can run under 5:11 for a while, but like they're gonna stack some seconds later on. And so that's how it is for the
Yeah.
women too. Like they're gonna have to be, it's gonna be remarkable. My biggest fear as a as a host is that we're gonna interview these women. We're like, I don't know. It just seemed like super fun, so I kept going. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, that's a really good place to be mentally.
Yeah, I mean, just when you think about the difference of 245 to 237 and 219 to 216, that's just like worlds away. Worlds
Yeah.
away.
And it's just it makes me want to throw up.
But
And
keep
it's like,
trying. But keep
no,
trying,
exactly.
everybody.
It's going to be awesome. And we talked about like all the right things. There's a lot of the men and women are going to go after PRs in the first cycle this fall. And then, next fall, maybe like go after, ride some trains for some while and try to PR as well. And then, but man, it's going to get fun in the fall of 27 because it's going to be like, get on that train and and just black out. Just go for it.
We're
Um,
we're so excited to possibly, I'm not setting this in stone, be at CIM this year.
we're
Matt
trying.
and Peter and I, we're hoping to set up shop there and do a bunch of interviews, and so that'll be really fun because that's such a hub for the Olympic trials. All right, I just want to we're going to wrap up with each of us giving a book or podcast recommendation. Listen, you men don't enjoy this part, but I get feedback that people like it. I
Okay.
also just want to congratulate myself because you all know I'm recording in chaos sometimes, but there are probably like 10 boys at my house right now, and a bunch of them have walked in and out of this room. And did you even notice? I'm
No,
just
no,
cruising on
steady.
through,
Yeah,
cruising on
steady.
through. All right. This isn't running related. My book recommendation, this is called The Housemaid's Secret. It's a 3-part series. I'm on the third one now. This one that I'm holding here is the second. The Housemaid is Watching is the one I'm reading right now. That's the third in the series. And it's suspenseful. And if you're just looking to get away and not think about, real life for a little bit and look forward to something, check it out. The Housemaid's Secret. And her books can be kind of
Interesting.
creepy. Freida McFadden, her books are creepy, but good, not too creepy. Here it is. Here's the one. My son last night, when I told him it was creepy, he was like, "Are you reading that right before bed?" And I
Yeah,
was like,
scared.
"Yeah." And he's like, "Is that not going to scare you?" And I'm like, it's okay.
Get mom. She's so strong.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do you have,
she can do
Peter?
hard things. Um, it's quite different. I just started reading Permission. It's called The New Memoirist and the Courage to Create. It's basically like a memoirist, a successful memoirist who I am like it's like someone standing at the mountaintop that I am walking up to, being like, okay, how do you do this craft? And the person talking about how it really takes good memoir takes actually looking at the thing. They call them like the known secrets that no one talks about. Like the things that exist in spaces that people have trouble being honest enough with themselves or fearful of like what their other people will think. And so it's like digging into the juice around that. So it's been interesting so far.
That sounds so good. And for
Yeah.
someone writing a book about your life experiences, pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's much better for me to be reading that type of stuff than reading. I'm sort of approaching the point where I can't really read writing about running because then it kind of like
Yeah,
gargles my brain, which
I
I love.
totally
I
get
hate
that.
because I love that stuff, but it's just like, I'm going to inadvertently include it in my own writing because
Yeah,
it just works its
you
way.
got to read that after you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard a lot of
Uh,
people talk like that about while they're
man,
writing books.
I well, I'm glad I came up with that. I'm glad I started that book. It's going well, and I enjoyed it. But I should have thought ahead because, yeah, I hate
What, do
when
you have
you ask me
another
that
one?
question, and I'm like, I got a TikTok I watched recently. Like, no, we could link to some TikToks as well.
Well, Laura Green did have a good video this morning about trail runners and marathoners, and
Oh, I'll
I
go check
don't
it
know
out.
if it's old,
I bet it's
but
not. Laura would be well within her right to recycle some of her
it might
content.
be recycled. But it's funny, it's just the trail runner being like so chill, and
Yeah,
the road runner being super anal, that kind of thing. I did laugh though. I was like, this is good. This is good quality stuff right here.
I don't know that like you ever sit in a crew meeting with an ultra runner who's talking about like which drop bag and which fuel, like which
Oh,
soft flask has what amount of
you ain't as
sodium.
chill
Like,
as you portray.
yeah, so chill, like just
Uh,
calm as calm can be. They're not like, hey, maybe they'll have some quesadillas. They're like, okay, and so this one has
this is what
two.
time I'm eating the
Yeah,
quesadilla. This is how much cheese. Also, like, I don't have a plan for my training schedule, but like, in the back of your head, you're gonna run 30 miles this day and
I
maybe
know.
20 miles this day, give or take 5 miles.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, I have that emotional damage deep within my soul, so I will be
Yeah.
out there forever. It's just like all made up on the
But I
spot. You're
will
like,
play it cool. But I will play
yeah,
it cool.
yeah, very
Okay, we
calm.
love you
Yeah,
guys. We love you, trail runners.
yeah.
Don't take it
Trail runners.
personally.
Yeah, please include me. Let me play with you. All
Let me
right.
play with you. Friends,
Thanks,
thanks for
friends.
being here. We'll see you next week.